What's up there, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Derail Valley. We are in the midst of a realistic difficulty playthrough. This is actually episode 13. Okay, today guys, we're going to go and get the slug from up on the mountainside, and we're going to do that in the DM3. You might ask the question why. I'm going to tell you in just a moment. Please do grab yourself a drink. Let's hit the rails. Right then guys, first things first, yes, we are using the DM3 to go and get the slug. Now, in my standard difficulty playthrough, I utilised the DE6 to go and get it. That was challenging in its own way because of the tight radiuses as you climb up the mountainside. I think it would be very easy to do it in a DE2. And the intention behind getting the slug is to eventually run 2 DE2s. In fact, we've got them already here in harbour, either side of the slug, and have them sort of running together for a little while to see how we get on with that. I've never done it before. I'm interested to see how we get on. But we have been utilising the DM3, and we did that in the last episode for a bit of shunting, and I want to use the DM3 a little bit more. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to run her up the mountainside. I also want to discuss the brakes in the DM3, mainly, well, not the brake, sorry, the engine brake. So we know that the standard DM3 brake, well, it has the usual sort of individual brake, doesn't it? But it also has a non-self-lapping brake, which we know can be challenging and kind of tricky in some ways. We've encountered that. I've utilised it. I've spoken through it. I've talked about how it works. The DM3 has got an engine brake that I haven't utilised a great deal. Especially not during playthroughs. I haven't touched it at all. So let's just hop up a sec and take a look at it. So we'll get the door open. We might as well do this manually. We'll climb up, and the engine brake itself is found exactly right here, and it's actually called engine brake, believe it or not. Now this brake isn't a dynamic brake, even though you could argue that it has a dynamic essence to it. We know that the likes of the DE6 and the DH4 have got their own dynamic brakes. This brake is also known as a Jake brake. Somebody actually asked me this in the comment section the other day. They said, does the DM3 have a Jake brake? The answer is yes, but it's not a dynamic brake. I want to make that abundantly clear. It's very different to the DE6 in that the DE6 utilises the dynamic brake in that the actual traction unit itself creates a resistance which brakes against obviously forward motion. That's really useful for going downhill. We've used it quite a lot. The slug itself has even got it as well. So the actual slug doesn't generate electricity, but it does utilise the electricity generated by the attached locomotive. So usually the DE6, in this case we're going to be using the DE2, so that's going to be its own little challenge. It's very new ground for me, but it uses that electricity, and the traction motor itself generates a dynamic resistance when you're going forward, and I used that quite a lot during our standard difficulty playthrough. I found it to be very helpful indeed going downhill. This brake in the DM3, this engine brake, this Jake brake we'll call it, it does serve as a dynamic brake, but it's totally a completely different type of system entirely. So I'll read out this definition that I found online, which I thought was quite succinct and quite useful. So it says the DM3's engine brake works by altering the engine's exhaust valves, essentially turning the engine into an air compressor that absorbs power and slows the train. Now, I've heard that it works particularly well going downhill. And I also read that it works best when you've got high revs. I think that you need to disengage the Jake brake before changing gear. But I think if we get into the right gear and apply the engine brake, we can just sort of maintain forward motion down the hill once we get up there. Anyway, we're saying a lot before we're actually doing anything. So let's get things underway by firing this baby up. We'll get her started up. I want to get her into reverse. And yeah, she's got the independent brake. We've already spoke about that. We're going to engage the non-self-lapping brake. And currently the brakes are already released. So we're just going to close the door and we'll get the parking brake off. And as you see, she's already rolling now. I've spoken about this at length. And I've said a number of times she will roll. Because although she's got a manual gearbox, she does have basically, essentially, an automatic clutch. So let's get her onto the main line. We are going straight down. We are heading for the Slug, which is basically straight down there. We did this during the standard difficulty playthrough, so there's no question about where the Slug is. We know exactly where it is. She's finding that gear. She's finding that gear, but she's not actually in drive. We need her in forward. And she's stalled. Alright, marvellous start then. Now she should move. If you have the independent brake released, of course. Right, I'm going to crunch her through the gears. And I've said I like to utilise this handle on the left. What it means is essentially that we're moving through the gears in a way which some might find offensive. So I go from 1-1 to basically 1-1 to 2-1, which is effectively gear 3. I then go up to gear 5. I then proceed up to 6, and then eventually I'm going to jump to 8 as well. Right, I'm just going to switch this track to make sure we don't go around there. It's because we want to be straight on here. And we'll go up to 8 now. So we do have some DE2s over there in D yard, which we will be utilising when we come back. Like I've said, we're going to be attaching them up to the Slug. Right, I'll tell you what else we need to do is throw this switch, because we want to be straight down there. Okay, so we're doing about 30 kilometres. I'm just going to slow down a little bit. Take her down a bit in gears. So I'm going to leave her rolling on a little bit while we go and buy the key for Steve's garage. So hopefully she'll be fine. Yeah, she's just cruising forward. We need to change the lighting configuration because she's got currently got the tail light on the front. Right, let's get ourselves in here. We'll grab the zapper. So yeah, we're going to grab Steve's. I think I said that, didn't I? Steve's key. I hope I didn't say Stu. Where on earth is it? There it is. Right, Steve's garage key. There we go. 7,000. So yeah, we've got 208 at the moment. So that's going to be fine. Right, we'll pop that in the hot bar, and then we've got it to hand in slot 1 for when we need it. And yeah, again guys, DH4 hiding here behind the bushes, which we will get to once we start unlocking the museum, locomotives, etc. Which will be, it's kind of an end game thing, that, isn't it? But yeah, well, it's a mid to end game. Right, let's throw this configuration round. So now, if we hop out a sec, we'll see that we've got headlights on the front, tail light on the rear, and that's exactly what we want. So yeah, again, I've been over it a number of times, but this configuration I've touched upon and how the lighting works in this locomotive, it's not really that complicated. You've got front lights, you've got rears, and anybody that's been watching the episode will have heard me say this a number of times. These control the brightness. I have all of these switched on to have maximum brightness regardless of what time of day it is, and then this top switch simply indicates whether it's a white light in terms of your headlights or it's a tail light. When you've got it flicked down, it's a white light. When you've got it flicked up, it's a tail light. So the front lights are on headlight, the rear light is on tail light. Okay, so I was reading in the comment section people asking about the DM3 gears. I mean, guys, if you want to know the actual sequence, it's not rocket science. You don't need a video to teach you. It's actually here on this plate. And when you have your own DM3, which when you find it when you're doing your playthrough, that plate is even easier to read because it's a lovely brand spanking new one. Alright, well, I can tell you one thing, guys. I have never attempted this in the DM3. I'm just trying to think where this track is here. Have we gone past it? I wasn't looking, I was too busy talking. Yeah, okay, we have well and truly gone past it there. Okay. Right, we're going up this hill, so I'm going to throw these and turn them around, and as we approach this switch I'm going to throw it. So yeah, we're going up the hill basically, and I honestly can tell you hand on heart that I have never done this in the DM3, so it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I did do it in the DE6 previously, and a loco of that size going up this hill is a challenge. I imagine that the DE2 is very easy. It'd be perfect for this climb. DM3, I don't know. And yeah, we'll see how we get on coming down. So we are currently reversing up. We've got gears to think about. We've got speed limits to consider. We've got a 40 limit here, but there's times when that speed limit drops right down. So let's just bear that in mind. The last thing we want here is a crash. I'm sure you can agree. The throttle is fully open. See the temperature's coming up actually. Try to manage that. I've just backed off a little bit there. See the speed still coming up. Okay, we've got a 20 limit here. Let's get some brakes on. Keep it going. Saw a harbour across the way there. Obviously we're reversing up a hillside and I absolutely love it. I love driving this loco in reverse. I find that the view here, right, 10 k's we're coming down to here in terms of speed limit. The sort of the visibility out this end is absolutely perfect. I mean, there's nothing restricting your view there whatsoever. In fact, reversing with this loco grants the absolute best visibility in the game. Right, we need to come down and speed a bit. She's got bags of torque, so you really don't need to worry too much. She's already up to 20 kilometers again, which is not really what I want. But we're very easy to take that down. Now she's in gear 2-3, which is actually gear 7 at the moment. So we're not really looking for acceleration power. We're just using kind of low-end torque to get her to where we want to be. Now, we're not a million miles away from the garage here, I don't think. So we've made very light work of this. about 15 kilometers, which I would say is probably about right. It's probably optimal there. I mean, we're not doing anything dangerous, and we're not pushing the limits. Coming up to 30 kilometer speed limit here, so you just gotta love the sound of that engine, though. It does remind me of a baby Class 37 if you're into UK locomotives at all. Just the sound of it. I mean, it's not quite, but it's got that similar tone. As you can see, in terms of oil and fuel and everything, we're absolutely fine as well. But we will look to do a manual service. Now, there's an X there, indicating end of the line. So, perfect. In fact, we'll pull... Once we get around this corner, I believe the garage will be there. We'll pull right up to it and get into position to take... a little bit further yet. Get into position to take the Slug down. And what I'm going to do is engage this engine brake fully. And we'll see how we get on. So, when we come down, it's saying... 10 kilometer speed limit there is the first one that we're going to hit. Okay, let's see where we're at here. This is just marvellous. I love this. Okay, there's the garage. Steve's garage. I do wonder whether the Slug has whether it's spawned or not. Okay, that'll do nicely, I think. So the brake's holding things there nice and steady. Whoops. So, I will hop out. And, yeah, there she is. What a grand job that was, actually, by the DM3. Okay. So, yeah, the Slug has spawned. So, let's get the key in. And there she is in all her glory. Just stood waiting for us, as it were. So yeah, a marvellous piece of kit and very useful. As indicated earlier there, we will be obviously utilising the additional traction that you get from that traction motors, should I say, but obviously on the way down here we're not going to be utilising the... Is she holding? Yeah, she's holding where she is. I'll put a little bit of brake on just to make sure. Okay, so with the DM3 she is not compatible, meaning we can tow her down, the train brake will work with her, but we don't have any functionality in terms of the actual traction motor. All we've got is a bunch of weight, so it's not going to be ideal really, but I mean, it is what it is. I wonder what's outside that door. Should we just take a quick look? I mean, it's rare that we're up here, isn't it? The door there as well. So if you were to go around the side, those doors, that one leads to nowhere apart from around the back here. And that one itself leads even to even something even less. Right, let's see where we're at anyway then. Because hopefully I haven't moved too far away from the station so that our DE2s have despawned. Right, let's get this door closed then. Right, first things first, we're going to fully engage the engine brake to see how we get on. Now, I don't know how this is going to go. I'll be totally honest, I have no idea. Because I don't know what effect this has. I've barely even attempted to sort of utilise it. But yeah, she's in gear, we'll release the brake. So, first things first, she's not moving anywhere. She doesn't want me to engage the power. So what does that mean? Does it mean that we can't have engine brake and throttle? We can't have them both on together. Right. That makes sense. So let's just go forward. Whoops, wrong gear. Let's go forward a little bit. And I'll just for the sake of it, switch these. Right, so she's with us. So we're naturally engaging high revs there. So if I put that up, and then can we use this to then hold the speed? Is that what we do? So let's push her up a bit more. Because it's like it's choking the end, like choking, like not like a choke where you increase the mixture. Like, so there you go. So we're getting a bit of noise that I've never heard, a different sort of sound there. But it's like the resistance there is helping it to slow down without any brake as well, may I add. So you can see why you wouldn't change gear while engaging this item. We will put a bit of train brake on as well here, just to bring us down a bit. Apologies again, my right mouse button is very sensitive. So gaining speed again. So if I disengage that, push that up, is that going to give us more or less? Right, less. Yeah, we need some brakes on here, big time. We're gaining a lot of speed. We've gone up to 30 kilometers there. So let's just be careful. See how quickly she gains speed there. Yeah, because okay, let's put this down a bit and engage that again. So I'm trying to figure out, is it better to be in a lower gear or a higher gear? That's what I'm saying. So it looks like she's holding lovely there. So maybe a lower gear is better with slightly higher revs. You hear that engine braking start to kick in again there. Does the dynamic brake keys work? Yes, they do. So we have keyboard control as well, and it's the same keys as the DE6's dynamic and DH4 dynamic brakes, which is the O and L key. So there we go. Once we've released that engine brake, and you see she's starting to build up speed a bit again. Put some more on again. And there we go. We're holding it. So this is really useful for this scenario. I'm glad we tried this. It's a little harrowing how quickly she picked up speed there. I was like, wow. Need to do something here. We're going to derail. So we're holding 20 kilometers per hour pretty nicely here, to be fair. And again, we can now release the dynamic and maybe start to put a little bit of our own power on here. It's 50 limits, so yeah, nothing to worry about apart from a bit of extra thing. So we've jumped that from basically went from gear 4 up to gear 7 there. Just put a bit of train brake on when all else fails. Okay, so we're successfully down. Wasn't really that dangerous, but it was pretty fun. So we're going to reverse her back into basically the main part of the yard. We'll get the DE2s ready as well in just a sec. Alright, so I'm going to release that engine brake now and put it into reverse, put that into gear, well it's basically gear 3, get the brakes off, let's get it backwards. Okay, so we're going to basically just take it down the middle here, now that we've got the Slug. I mean, we can test this here. So there's no power being transferred to her. You'll be able to hear her humming. So the DM3 is doing all the work here, but of course that's not going to be the case when we get her hooked up to the DE2s. It's going to be a joint effort. Okay, so speaking of which, if I can actually get my view right so I can see, we're going to get the DE2s out. We'll leave her sat there for the moment. I'll leave the engine on. And we'll pull the DE2s out of here now, I think. Utilising my F key to the extreme. I'm sure my F key is going to be worn out by the time we get finished with this realistic difficulty playthrough, that's for sure. Still keeping my eyes open for locomotives. I could do with actually having a proper scout around harbour with it having so many spawn points. And yeah, I mean, during the first standard difficulty playthrough, we did have 2 of the locos in the in the first spawn point in terms of in steel mill, so that was quite interesting. Just having a look here, that one needs to be like that. These locos have been recently serviced, so they did have the parking brake on, and they also had that switched on both of them. So if we're reversing here, I want a DE2 either side of the Slug. I want them facing both outwards from either end. So I think we might have to move the Slug forward first, actually. I thought these 2 DE2s were facing the opposite direction. Yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do here. We'll just hold off a sec. And what I'll do is I'll leave the Slug here in the midst of the triangle, and we'll pull the DE2s either side. Pulling away in whatever gear that is. 3-2, which is gear 6. In fact, we'll pull her off over here a sec, just out the way. As you can tell, I don't have a great deal of respect for the gearbox, to be honest with you. Like, I respect it in terms of I don't like obviously changing gear when I'm when I'm revving the engine, but in terms of the actual order of gears, there is a correct order, but I don't really stick to it. Okay, so let's do a thing here. So I'm going to connect this one. It probably already was. I'm going to fire her up. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll disconnect these babies. Best to close the valve first, but not the end of the world. We've got a compressor. Let's not panic, guys. Right. Is this dangerous? Is that one got the parking brake on? Because it's not moving. Oh no, it is moving very slowly. Right, so with this one, I'm just going to reverse it up here. Is that one moving or not, or is it just me? Okay, I'd say that's about right. Is this one moving? Oh, there we go, it's moving now. Oh, has it got a parking brake on? 2 seconds. It seems to be not cooperating. Let's see if we can hear. It's got the parking brake on. Oh, I tell you what it has. It's got the brakes cut out. It's got the brake handle cut out, so the brakes are locked on. Yeah, and then we've just wheel slipped her as well. Alright, so while we're connecting up, she will go around. Now, this is where I'd love, and I think this is where AI trains would be effective. You could say, right, AI, computer model, I want you to drive that loco from there to there, and I want you to park and wait for me. That to me is an effective use of programming. But I'm not one to complain, he says. There's the cars that we dropped off last time, so they're still there. I think the others had despawned, but interesting. Right, so these DE2s, like I said, there's one on that end, and there's going to be one on this other end. So what we are effectively getting here now is basically extra torque. It's not going to be kind of a huge amount of additional acceleration or anything like that. It's more tractive power, meaning effectively we should be able to move heavier weights easier. We're also getting obviously more weight with the Slug, which is useful for keeping more tractive power on the rail, as opposed to not on the rails. Like these DE2s are well known for wheel slipping. So let's get the blue leads connected up if I haven't already done so at this end. There we go. So now what we've got is an effective chain of multiple units, and we need to put the lights on again. That's a clear-cut sign that you've connected them correctly, having no lights. Now, what should happen here is, actually it'll be reverse because it's this loco that's doing the remote control. Okay, one thing we need to do is to cut out. Tell you what we'll do, we'll cut this one out, and we'll dash along here, and we'll just ensure that one is, and then we'll connect this up. Right, there we go. Now when we release the independent brake, we'll find that everything should move together. We can test that you can already hear it, the slug is working by standing right next to it. You hear the hum of her traction motors. Oh, I didn't want to go around there really. Hold on. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get ourselves prepared for the next job. Because there is a job that I'd like to do, and I'm hoping that it's still available. I think it'll test the power that we have here at hand, and it's in the G yard. And it's this order of wooden boards, actually, I want to take a look at. Ah, it's still here. Marvellous. So, the weight of it is what attracted me to it. It's also a long one, so we'll need to unlock that license next. Or long two, should I say. Sorry, we've already unlocked long one. Okay, so we'll get into position and get things hooked up. Well, he says that, but now we've got that a little nudge. That's better. Okay, we'll release this and just see if she can move it forward a little bit. Yeah, it is a long two. That's for sure. So I think it's about 800 tons, this. It doesn't give us the total weight, but we can certainly take a look at the job at the start of the next video. Let's see how she gets on if we were to... it's in reverse, isn't it? Okay, well, things are moving. That's good. So yeah, we'll do that job next, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I had a blast showing a different way of getting the slug. And yeah, really excited to crack on and see how these DE2s get on with the slug. Hopefully they'll become the best of mates. Right, guys, if you enjoyed it, please do hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd love it if you'd go ahead and do that. Guys, if you want to hit me up in the comment section, I'd love to hear from you. I'll tell you what we'll do at the start of the next episode, if I remember. We'll take a scout around and see if there's any locomotives kicking around as well, if I remember. Otherwise, guys, please do take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you guys again soon.